Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has been a recurring decima in Nigeria's political history, popping up now and then to give his take. Some call him the morality monitor of those in power. And you can trace as back as his comments on the actualization of the June 12, 1993 election, where he had said that the acclaimed winner of that election was not the Messiah Nigeria needed. It's hard to consider his letter without considering his person. But as a politician now, and seeing that his decision favors your party, what do you have to say about his person and his contribution to Nigerian politics prior to this time?
Well, Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, was a former president of our country. He spent 8 years running the country. And up to now, he still believes that his own period as the president of Nigeria was better than what the people who took over from him are done. And that is why you see him keep writing letters. His belief is that after he left office, all those that have been taken over, that took over from him and have been running the country, have not been able to do it to his own satisfaction and to the satisfaction of majority of Nigerians, to the collective satisfaction of Nigerians. So that is his belief. And that is why you see him still keeps looking for how to register his impression about how the Nigerian system, political, socio-political system has been running. In order to be heard, because as an elder statesman that he has become in the Nigerian polity, he believes that if he should just be talking, it might not be taken seriously, more seriously than documenting his thoughts, what he feels, about the polity, in written form, in the form of writing a letter. And you all know that when it comes to, putting something down in writing and sending it to someone, it comes with that connotation of more seriousness. It becomes weightier than just saying it, just expressing it orally. When you have to sit down to start writing something, definitely it comes with that connotation of seriousness. And this time, Obasanjo is not talking to anybody else than the Nigerian youth. The content of his letter was addressed to the Nigerian youths. And in that content, he prayed for them, he appreciated them, and he also reminded them that they have the majority of the number. That number that any political party could be looking for to win an election, to install the next president of Nigeria, that it is the Nigerian youth between the age of, say, 18 and maybe 50 that have that magic wand to decide the fate of any political party. So, Obasanjo this time came out openly to tell Nigerian youths that, okay, I have my, preferential likeness for a particular presidential candidate of a particular political party. And I'm lucky. I'm lucky as a state chairman of Labour Party. I'm lucky, I'm happy to know that out of the 4 major presidential contenders,
he has picked yours.
He has picked mine.
Let me get Dr. Eesuola's
and
yes.
That is going to favor my party.
I'll get back
It's a
to
big
you
one for my
shortly.
party.
Dr. Eesuola, a lot have been said about how relevant the former president's support is at this time, given his track record in this regard. When you also take a look at the letter, he had mentioned that at age 70 he was on his way out, making reference to why the next president should be energetic and youthful. For a president who had desired to run a third time, what would wonder if what he was saying at that point tallies with his position at this time. But talk to us about his political relevance, because the APC has also reacted, saying that his support is useless for any candidate at this time. What do you think about it?
The APC and the PDP are just being political. And of course, you understand their position. It is difficult to say Obasanjo's opinion is irrelevant in Nigeria. If the opinion is not relevant, why did the candidates of these parties go to him to solicit support? I mean, it's a contradiction. But like I said, they are political and they are expected to behave in such a way. I think in Nigeria today, Obasanjo remains an opinion leader. He has one vote, perhaps with members of his family, if they will vote for what he wants. But definitely you cannot deny that his position will influence a lot of people in this country. That is the reality of politics as we see it. Now, going back to his message to the Nigerian people, and especially the youth, I think Obasanjo is quite right. He is right to the extent that he needs to make a call that change is necessary. But I don't agree with him on the fact that that change is only going to be brought about by the young stars. No. Capital, no. No single section of the society makes a change. It must be holistic. I would, if I were Obasanjo, make a call to the Nigerian people and say that whoever you choose to vote for in 2023 does not matter to me. I'm an elder statesman. What matters to me is that once the people get to power, do not go to sleep. Eternal vigilance is the driver of democracy. And that's the point I was trying to make before we went on that break. Elections don't change political system. They only change political leadership. But the moment you conduct election, that will be my own Obasanjo's message to the Nigerian people. Immediately you will elect a leader and the person takes up office, eternally you must be vigilant towards him. If he makes a statement, discuss it, criticize it, engage it. If there is need for demonstration, you demonstrate. If there is need for commendation, you commend. That person will sit up and know that it is not business as usual. It is not a game of I've had my 4 years until another 4 years again. It is not a case of Atito Jebolo Shalowo Kubaba Ntomabo. That for me is the problem of Nigeria, and that is what I think the President Obasanjo likes.
All right.
As elder statesmen should be talking about, not just to point towards one direction.
I hear you, Dr. Eesuola. Very quickly, let's take this call from Otukpo in Benue State. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning.
Thank you for waiting for a long time. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Happy New Year.
Wish you the same.
I greet your guests in the studio.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
We thank God for Obasanjo's letter. Obasanjo is a hard hitter and he knows when to speak all the time. He has listened to all the contestants. We remember that they all visited him individually, and he listened to the content of their intentions, their speech, and he has made his own recommendation as a Nigerian who has passion for the country. So Obasanjo has only stated the obvious, and nobody should take him to the cross. Nobody should crucify him. You take it or leave it. And if anybody decides to disregard him by saying that his endorsement is worthless, you are doing that at a peril to your own success. Thank you very much, Nipemi. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, Manuel, for your contribution. Let's quickly take a look at the reaction coming in from the Presidential Campaign Council of the APC as it relates to the latest letter from former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Well, he's saying, we make bold to say that our party and the candidate, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, will not lose sleep over Obasanjo's move, as Obasanjo is notorious for always opposing progressive political forces, as he did against MKO Abiola in 1993. The endorsement is actually worthless, according to the APC, because the former president doesn't possess any political goodwill or leverage anywhere in Nigeria to make anyone win a councillorship election, let alone win a presidential election. He's a political paperweight. That's what the APC is saying. He's also not a Democrat anyone should be proud to be associated with. It goes ahead to recall 2003 and 2007 general elections when he was a sitting president, that he used all the coercive instruments, allegedly, of the state at his disposal to railroad people into electoral offices against the will of Nigerians as expressed at the polls. In 2007, according to the APC-PCC, he declared the polls a do-or-die affair after he failed in his bid to amend the Constitution for a third time. And there's a long list of what the APC is saying this morning. But I'd like us to take a look at the figures, the facts. Former President Obasanjo supported, I think it was Yar'Adua in 2007, while he was still within the PDP, and Yar'Adua won that election. The same thing happened in 2011. A few things changed prior to 2015, when he publicly tore his membership card of the PDP and had written some very nasty letter against the incumbent governor at the time. He also publicly supported the candidate of the opposition party, who eventually won. But some would say the trajectory changed from 2015, the moment he wasn't a member of the PDP, and that the candidate he had supported then against the incumbent president, who he had supported in 2015, didn't win. So if you look at the figures as it were, from the moment he left the PDP, nobody he has supported had emerged as president. Why do you think this will be different?
And that is how many times?
Once.
Just once. He left PDP in 2014? It should be 2014,
I think it was 2014,
right?
yes.
2014. And it is only one person he supported after then that had lost. Let me just tell you this. Obasanjo doesn't care what people feel about his stance on socio-political issues in Nigeria. He doesn't care. He sees himself as an individual. He doesn't see himself as an institution that must control the polity. Because he himself has left power. He has left partisan politics. He has said it, that it was done with partisan politics. So whatever he has been doing after then, he has been doing it in that capacity as an individual Nigerian who has the right to express his opinion, one, who has the right to pitch his tent with whoever he likes to support, to continue to be his president or his governor. Obasanjo has been operating since he left partisan politics as an individual person who has the right to express himself and also to give his support to whoever he feels that want to contest an election for public office in Nigeria. For me, Obasanjo hasn't done anything wrong. He is an individual. In the content of his letter, he didn't put it there that he had written the letter because he was a former president or because he was somebody who could influence the collective will of Nigerians.
Let me hold it for a minute.
Yeah.
Ola has called in from Abuja. Good morning, Ola.
Hello, good morning, Nitami.
Good morning.
Yes, and I greet your guest in the studio also. My name is Ola. I'm calling from Abuja.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Now, yes, first of all, let me counter one of the earlier callers who spoke about the fact that the President's administration have done well comparatively, in comparison to what the PDP government did, I will say without any amount of reservation that comparing the APC-led government in the last 7.5 years with PDP is just like comparing day and night. The PDP, as far as I'm concerned, and very sincerely, has done extremely better than the APC-led government. And I believe that many Nigerians, too, at least, are expecting the government to come back to power. And I haven't said that. With regards to what Obasanjo said about Obi, I think Obasanjo is trying to kind of, massage his ego as a person. Obasanjo is not a moral compass to determine who is good or who is not good. It's not a moral compass to determine who is the best leader and who is not the best leader. Do you understand? If Obi thinks Obasanjo's endorsement will make him to become president, I think he's just making a mistake. Obi will not win the next election, and it's as simple as that. And as far as I'm concerned as a Nigerian, I still believe that among all the candidates, without gainsaying, Atiku Abubakar is still the best. Let me just leave it on that note. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ola, for your contribution. You've also taken the time to campaign for your own candidate. I'll get back to you in a minute. But Dr. Eesuola, perhaps we should leave the conversation, the debate as to whether or not the former president, has the moral stature.
He hasn't said that.
No. But when you read the letter,
Obasanjo hasn't said that.
When you read the letter and his previous letter, there's a way he has exalted his 8-year tenure. For instance, this latest letter began by saying that the current crop of leadership have done their best, but that their best hasn't been enough.
Will say,
Indeed.
You see, Obasanjo won't ever say he hasn't done well. President Muhammadu Buhari will never live tomorrow and keep saying that he didn't do well. You see, let me tell you this, place. There is no government that will ever come. Whether that government is going to spend 4 years or 8 years, that won't do certain things well, that won't perform in certain areas. And let me tell you where the failure of any government is. When a government governs and people do not feel secured, there is no security. And people are hungry and hungry. People are suffering. When life is too harsh for people, when they are not enjoying their own country, their own lives,
I get to Mr. Salako.
That government has failed. You see, the primary role of government, as Mr. Eesuola said, is 1, provision of security, and 2, good life for the people.
We're running out of time now.
Can we say that this government has achieved those 2 things for Nigerians around this time?
Let me quickly
The answer is capital letter no.
Dr. Eesuola's response
to
the initial question. Dr. Eesuola, so let us leave the conversation as to whether or not the former president is a moral compass or not. But let us take a look at some allusions he's also made in his letter, referring to all the major candidates as his mentees. From your political experience, would that be accurate?
Well, I don't think it is appropriate. When I read that clause, I just giggled. I don't think I have enough facts from the public space to know if all, maybe some, but all, I'm afraid no. I also agree with you that we should stop analyzing issues. I mean, people, Obasanjo is not a moral standard. No one is, because there's no perfection in the affairs of men. I think we should focus on the issues they raise, as you have suggested, and what will help Nigerian people at this point. My take, which I want all Nigerians to take as a takeaway from this discourse, is that, like my friend suggested, there is hardly any government that will have 100% score sheet. Therefore, what is important is not to enthrone a government. No, that can be done by anybody. What is important is to be vigilant 24/7 and not allow people to come and sit in office only to destroy the nation and say, I have done my 8 years, the next person will do it. Whether it is Peter Obi that will become president, whether it is Atiku that will become president or Tinubu that will become president, none of them has what it takes as CV to solve Nigerian problem. It is Nigerian people that will set agenda for them. every day by engaging them. We don't want this, we want this. We reject this, we like this. If
Dr.
we
Shola,
operate that
I'm afraid
way
we're
in
running,
Nigeria,
we're
we
running
are
out
going
of
to be
time, so I might have to cut in
Otherwise-
again very quickly. Miriam has called in from Abuja. Miriam, you have just 30 seconds. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yesterday, I was listening to Professor Bugaji on channels, and I think he said it all. I don't think Obasanjo, with due respect, is our former president, will always respect him. I don't think Obasanjo has the moral compass. I don't think Obasanjo is the right person to tell us who to vote for. In his time, he tried to untwist the National Assembly to change the constitution. He wanted a third term. And so I don't think he has the right now to tell us who to choose. I think Nigerians are better informed. Nigerians know what they want. And I think Nigerians are the best people to know who they want to choose as president. The last time he tried the third force, it fell flat on his face. He tried so many things to determine who became the president at that time, and it failed. So I respect him as former president. He has his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion, but I don't think he has the right.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for your contribution. We have to go now. A big thank you to our guest this morning, Kayode Eesuola, Research Associate Professor of Politics, University of Lagos. Olukayode Salako, Chairman, Labour Party, Lagos State, still has a lot to say, but there's no time. Maybe the next time you come, you will explain to us why Labour Party is asking all other past leaders to support your candidates, even when those are the same people your party wants to cancel.